Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be talking about SmackDown, and I'm sorry that I haven't posted in a little bit. I have been busy as hell, but I've got some free time on this Saturday morning, so I'm gonna cover what happened on SmackDown last night because there's a lot to talk about, and there's a lot of scrambling stuff. Now, obviously, SmackDown has a new commentary team of Kevin Patrick, Corey Graves, and Michael Cole. Michael Cole looked like a side character last night. I have no idea why Michael Cole isn't leading commentary. Now, obviously, it's good that Michael Cole is leading commentary for Raw, but we all know that SmackDown is a better show than Raw, and I feel like Michael Cole deserves to be calling SmackDown. But I know that WWE are desperately trying to get people to believe in Kevin Patrick. So, I'm kind of half not surprised by this move. Kind of surprised, who knows. But seeing Kevin Patrick lead commentary over Michael Cole is weird. But I'm not going to disrespect Kevin Patrick because I thought he was legit good last night. But, I in the long term, will it work? I have no idea. But we got things started off with Asuka versus Charlotte, and that match didn't last long before Io would come in and basically throw her championship celebration on in the middle of the match. Now, I kind of wish Asuka just beat Charlotte clean. I think it just would have made more sense if, Asuka beats Charlotte clean and then Io just comes down in the ring. But to see Dakota Kai come out with Io and Bayley is so good. If they're making Dakota Kai do the manager role, I just legitimately think that they've hit it spot on. And the next thing I'm going to say is, it feels like this is the first time in forever that Damage CTRl not only feel like they're the top thing in WWE, but this is legit my favorite storyline going on right now. This whole thing with Damage CTRl is legit so good. And I know Dakota Kai was on the mic and sounded a little bit rough, but, Dakota Kai's excited about Io. Io Sky's the women's champion. Something that was improbable at first is a reality. And I hope Io... The main goal for me is to see Io Sky roll into the 40th WrestleMania as champion. And I think this is prime Damage CTRl. I know a lot of people said when Damage CTRl first arrived, they booked them big. And I agree that they did. But this feels like a Damage CTRl that is the number one thing going. Now, obviously, the Bloodline story is number one. But you can make a case that Damage CTRl are the most dangerous thing on SmackDown right now. And I think they are the most intriguing thing on SmackDown right now. And I think that they will be... I think this is a storyline. You don't know which direction is it going to go. Is Io Sky going to ride with Charlotte? Asuka? What is Bayley going to do? How often is Dakota Kai going to come to ringside? This is something that is very hooking, very unpredictable. I would even say it's better than the Bloodline storyline right now. I know it's kind of controversial to say that, but I think there's so much that they could do with Damage CTRl. This is their time. Admittedly, they kind of... I mean, Io and Dakota won the tag team titles twice. But realistically, Bayley beating Bianca the first time, I think, at the long term, I think Bayley beating Bianca the first time shouldn't have been the way to go. Because Bianca's reign got broken up with Asuka, I get it. But I think the more I think about it, the more Bayley shouldn't have just beaten Bianca for the title and gotten over with it. Because Bianca has plenty of time to have a longer reign than she just did now. Because Bianca's got at least another decade to go in this company. So, I just love that Io's women's champion. And I think so far WWE are throwing up the warning signs. Damage CTRl are here to take over, and they are not going to mess up like last time. Next up, AJ Styles took on Karrion Kross in a match that can only be described as a sleeper. I mean, I don't know what you do with Karrion Kross at this point, because Karrion Kross did not do himself any favors. He botched several stuff in this match, and AJ Styles deserved to win. I don't care what you say. I mean, Mia Yim beating Scarlett's ass was a great thing on the side. But AJ Styles and Karrion Kross's rivalry has failed. Nothing intrigued me. At first, I was like, okay, let's see what happens. And then as the rivalry went on, I was like, okay, this is something that needs to be gone. And it seems like WWE ended the rivalry. They made AJ Styles win all 3 times. So that pretty much means WWE is done with this rivalry, which is a good thing. And hopefully the OC get pushed. As I said, they need to get pushed. Gallows and Anderson need something to do. They deserve something to do. It's not that Gallows and Anderson don't deserve it. They need to be booked for something. AJ Styles maybe needs to be a manager for a little while. AJ Styles has been in action in a lot. He just hasn't been in action in a lot of meaningful matches. And I would love to also see Mia Yim in the women's title picture, because Mia Yim is a badass. They are still treating Mia Yim like this big badass, which she is. And I think that needs to be rewarded in a title opportunity, because Mia Yim is a babyface. Next up, Edge showed up on SmackDown. I love that, personally. Edge was supposed to show up in my hometown of Toronto, in his hometown of Toronto. But we get to see the Radar Superstar 2 weeks in a row, which is great. And Edge wants a match. Potentially his last one, but he kind of swerved us. It's against someone that he's never faced before, Sheamus. I love this personally because I think Sheamus low-key loves it. After all the comments that Sheamus has made, I'm pretty sure that he loves that he's getting into a rivalry with Edge. And the Brawling Brutes can... Is this going to lead to a Sheamus heel turn? Maybe so. Maybe this is something that Sheamus needs. Who knows? But I think Sheamus turning heel on Edge is a perfect way to get him big heat right out the gate. I am thinking that this is not Edge's last match. I think that Edge is not going to retire just yet. Maybe obviously it would be fitting in Toronto. But I have a secret feeling that this is going to be dragged out. And not in a bad way, because Edge and Sheamus have never faced before. So a rivalry between the two would totally be right. A Sheamus and Edge rivalry would go hard. But I feel like after Edge wins next week, which is inevitable, something's going to happen with Sheamus and the Brawling Brutes. And I think this rivalry being dragged out, it's one of those dragged out things I would like. I think Edge and Sheamus would deliver top-notch television. Next up, LA Knight won. LA Knight faced Top Dollar. I think this is the last we're going to see LA Knight. I think the main thing was we get to hear another LA Knight pop. Hearing LA Knight's entrance 2 times a week is just a joy. LA Knight squashed Top Dollar in the end. And Michael Cole just roasting Top Dollar. It was a very good moment. Also, Corey Graves called Michael Cole an NPC, which is not true. I mean, half the WWE commentators could be described as NPCs. And Corey Graves is realistically right in the fact that Corey Graves spouts off so much crazy shit that I can't consider Corey Graves an NPC. But LA Knight wins, and I'm pretty sure that, and hopefully LA Knight moves into the title picture soon. We're just still waiting on that. Next up, Street Profits, just more cinema. And this was the first tease that they're going to go after gold. Obviously, I would like the tag team titles to be split. That's the main thing. I think KO and Sammy as one set of tag team champions, and the Street Profits as another set of tag team champions would bring much more a more realistic side of the tag team titles. And I'm willing to say that they deserve it now. I would be willing to say now the Street Profits need the tag team titles on their shoulders right now. I think it would be great, and we'll have to wait and see what happens, but this is going in such a good direction. Next up, Santos Escobar was supposed to face Austin Theory for the U.S. title, but Austin Theory, playing the heel character that he always is, he tried to cheap out of it again. But Rey Mysterio, like that hero that he's been through his entire career, comes in. I think a match that lasted about 6 total minutes. Rey Mysterio beats Austin Theory. And Austin Theory's reign, which has been going on for 8 months since Survivor Series War Games. I think it's been nearly 9 months. Rey Mysterio 619s him, becomes new U.S. champion. In an image that I didn't think we were going to see. Rey Mysterio wins the United States title. And Santos kind of looked like... I know this isn't the image from SmackDown, but Santos was like, you know what? That shouldn't have been me, low-key. I know Austin Theory beat my ass. But, you know, that should have been me. And he's looking at a fellow LWO member. Biggest match of Santos' career. Remember, Rey Mysterio walks in there and he's like, you know what? I'm just going to beat Austin Theory's ass. I'm going to become new United States champion. And it's kind of trippy to see Rey Mysterio be the one to break Austin Theory's reign. If you would have told me that was going to happen, no shot I would have believed you, but it did happen. Congrats to Rey. Now we move on. Will Santos turn on Rey? I wouldn't mind it. I think obviously LWO is selling merch like crazy. I think LWO is popular enough where a heel turn might not do them right. But I think Santos would be a genius heel. Santos as a heel, I remember Legado as a heel team. They were great. And I think this would be a storyline, another big personal storyline that would go down well with the fans. Next up, obviously, Dom is also North American champion, so that means Rey Mysterio and Dom are the champions. They're both champions. And Dom, I think Dom has been a great North American champion so far, but Rey Mysterio, I hope he gets a reign with the U.S. title. I suspect that this isn't going to be long, and I know for a fact that this isn't going to be long. Heck, maybe Rey Mysterio is probably going to lose it at Payback. But now we need a reset with the U.S. Championship. The U.S. Championship needs to be a normal thing at PLEs, and it needs to be a title that's defended a lot. Like the Intercontinental title, the United States title needs to be on the line a lot. And I think Rey Mysterio is a guy that could give so many bangers, and I think we could see a lot of fresh matchups and a lot of dream matchups with Rey Mysterio as champion. And I think that Rey Mysterio's champion is easily better than Austin Theory as champion. And I'm not going to disrespect Theory that much, but it just wasn't a reign that worked out. Next up was the main event segment, and my goodness, was it crazy. You know, you had the entire former Bloodline in the ring. You had Roman, Solo still manipulated by Roman. Jimmy basically did not cooperate with Roman. He came out, he said he was doing it for himself. He said he was doing it because Jimmy did not want Jey corrupted by the Bloodline. And you know what? That makes kind of a little bit of sense. But at first, I was like, okay, this is not good. WWE needed a good reason. But then the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? I understand what WWE was pushing for. I think that Triple H, Michael Hayes, who's writing these segments, I think that they have a legit plan in place. And, you know, Jey came down to the ring. We knew that. Everyone that the beginning of the segment when Jey came out and everything, we all knew that was going to happen at some point. And Jimmy, it turns out Jimmy still loves Jey, but it seems like that Jimmy is now a heel that sort of is like not a top-notch heel. You know, there's still babyface elements to Jimmy, but he's still mainly a bad guy. But following from this, you know, Jey beat up Solo and Roman. You know, Jey showed that he could still go. You know, just because he lost at SummerSlam doesn't mean he's gonna lose any thunder. And Jey was about to forgive Jimmy, and Jimmy fell for it. You know, again, Jimmy's got that babyface element to his heel side where, you know, Jimmy's gonna fall for shit, and Jimmy sold that kick like crazy. Jey kicked Jimmy's head off. And then Jey turned around, and Jay's like, you know what? I need to escape from this. You know, I'm the main target of now everybody. I need to leave. He says, I'm leaving SmackDown. He didn't say Raw, and I'll get to why that's important in a second. Jey was like, I'm out of WWE. Pulled a CM Punk 2011 kinda, and SmackDown ended what I thought was a fantastic ending under the circumstances. Jey leaving questions. And I think that's their goal with this ending. Jey wanted there to be questions. And I thought, here's one of my theories. Sami Zayn, you know, Jey Uso and Sami Zayn will always know each other. It's one of the biggest storylines in WWE history. Of course, Jey and Sami are always going to have that, you know, every time Jey sees Sami, they can reflect back on what a storyline it was. But Jey didn't say Raw. You know, Jey could have just named every brand under the face of the sun. But he left, and I feel like, you know, Jey's not done. I think Jey's going to be back pretty quickly. I don't think Jey's going to miss a lot of time. I still think there's more stories to be told where I think Jey being off television for a while just isn't going to work. I don't know if they're holding off this storyline for a long time. It just doesn't seem like Jey's going to be the one to take that long break. You know, I can understand Roman and people like that taking that break, but not Jey Uso. Not the Usos. Not a team that has consistently been on TV all this time. I don't suspect that randomly Jey is going to be like, you know what, I'm going to be off of TV for like 3 months. I think Sami Zayn is going to need some help with Kevin Owens out with an injury. I think it's an injury that's going to keep him out a while. Sami Zayn's one half of the tag champs. And remember, Jey Uso and Sami Zayn have teamed with each other before on Monday Night Raw. So Jey and Sami have that chemistry. Jey and Sami from that storyline, Jey and Sami will always have that chemistry from that Bloodline storyline. This is a theory that I think I am fairly confident that this can end up happening. Jey on Raw with Sami, and Jey goes to Sami, a man that really got him to think that Roman was suspicious in the first place. Jey goes to Sami for the ultimate help. Jey's just trying to get off of that SmackDown chaos. Now, what do you guys think about the ending? I thought it was a good ending. I know a lot of people don't like it, but you know, it's the wrestling community. You know how this works. Let me know what you guys think about SmackDown, and I'll see you guys in the next video.